Let's go on to the Liberty. They're plus 125 to win the championship at BetMGM. My question here was, how quickly can the defense click? Because I think that's the advantage that they have over Vegas. I mean, even last year when Vegas won the championship, they were a middling defense statistically. You know, they have maybe some lineups that are better than others. Obviously, Asia had a great individual season, but I think that the Liberty with Stewie and Jonquel Jones, as well as Kayla Thornton and Betnijah Laney, like, could just completely extinguish a half-court offense depending on who's on the court. But all those players have not played together yet. So
Yeah.
that's not as quick of a thing to just click into place, especially because I think defense tends to take longer than offense. So what do you think, Sabrina? Is that something we see mid-season, by the end of the season, or do you feel like it can come into place quicker than that?
Yeah, so I actually think that the Liberty are going to finish with third best record during the regular season. I think it's going to take some time for them to figure it out. Admittedly, third doesn't seem all that low, but when you think about the hierarchy of teams this year, third is, not, I think, where they would expect to be finishing. I think Washington, with all of their continuity, even bringing in a new head coach, the fact that it's still Tebow and he's been on the staff all of these years, I think it's going to be a relatively seamless transition. So I don't think that's going to be like an immediate fix. Sloot hasn't played yet. She had a concussion during training camp, just barely joined practice. She was not in either of their preseason games. Stu and Jonquel only played in one preseason game. As far as the defense, I'm very concerned about the perimeter defense. Just Sabrina and Sloot together in that backcourt create some openings. I saw Kelsey Plum, in the preseason just abuse Sabrina over and over again. And I think that is exactly the place that opposing teams are going to target when they're playing New York. But, Stewie, cards on the table, I voted for Defensive Player of the Year last year, just does so many things on the court. Like, her length is overwhelming and just unassuming sometimes because her arms are just so much longer than you'd expect them to be. I mean, just for NBA fans, she has the same dimensions as Taylor Horton Tucker, and just think about how lanky he looks. So she just gets everywhere on the court. And now that she has a veritable rim protector behind her in Jonquel Jones, who can take those burlier center matchups, who can actually, do things against Asia Wilson or, the other centers that they're going to have to come up against, I think they have a great foundation for that front court defense, but I am still very concerned about how that backcourt is going to look. And Sandy is going to have to, come up with some creative ideas on how to hide Sloot and Sab because, especially against a team with the perimeter scoring power of the Aces, like, concessions are going to have to be made.
Where are we at with Sabrina, do you guys think? She just signed this contract extension through 2025. Mm-hmm. I think obviously part of the idea of bringing Stewie is being like, we already have Sabrina here. We already have this triple-double machine, an up-and-coming star. We'll go get other pieces. We're going to spend a bunch of money as we need to. We're that kind of team. But where are we at with Sabrina as she is such a key piece, I think, in them realizing their title odds? Like, I mean, she has to, I think, be like another level this year. I think if these odds are going to have them that close to Vegas, I think she has to have like something of a breakout year. Really, it feels like it.
Yeah, I think what we learned last year is that Sabrina gets overtaxed when she's on the ball all the time, and that's why you bring in a player like Courtney Vandersloot. That's why you have Maureen Johannes coming off the bench who can run the offense. That's why you have players like Stewie and Jonquel Jones who can create their own shots. Even Betnijah Laney, who can theoretically create her own shot, although I think that is the least exciting option on the starting five that New York is running. So I do believe that she is going to have a very efficient season, right? All of her shots should be very, very uncontested considering the other threats that are on the court and the fact that, one of the greatest point guards in WNBA history is feeding her the ball. So I think that's what I'm really looking for Sabrina is lower usage, being willing to come off the ball, being willing to, do things off the ball, not just stand in the corner or stand on the wing and wait for the action to proceed, like actually running off of screens, actually flying off handoffs and things like that. Turning yourself into more of an off-ball player and complimenting the stars because she's not the best player on this team. She's not even the second best player on this team. But she has to be as, dangerous of a marksman as she possibly can, considering all the other options that are there.
Do you think there's any games, maybe come playoff time, like, do you think it's a realistic possibility that one of those two guards is not on the court to close the game? Or is that, like, third rail, they're too talented and you can't compromise that?
That's an interesting question. I mean, we haven't seen them play together yet, so I'm hesitating to split them up just now. But
Yes,
I mean,
but for the concerns
could
you
see-
brought up defensively,
yeah,
it's on
I
my
could
mind.
see a guard, one of them plus Thornton, Laney, Stewie, Jonquel, and then you have this super wingy, rangy lineup that could cause a lot of trouble. I could definitely see that as a, just additional pitch during the fourth quarter. But I'm more excited to watch them play together right now.